Brave Nation, this next battle is 3 5-minute rounds in a catchweight bout of 90 kilos. Introducing your first warrior, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 4 wins against 1 loss. He stands 186 centimeters tall and weighs in at 88.9 kilograms. Fighting out of Russia, presenting Dmitry Crave. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 1 win and no losses. He stands 185 centimeters tall and weighs in at 89.65 kilos. Fighting out of MMA in the magnificent Kingdom of Bahrain, presenting Murtaza Talha. Your referee in charge is Mr. Nikolai Sharipov.
Nikolai Sharipov in charge of the action in this light heavyweight bout, pitting Bahrain against Russia as Murtaza Talha takes on Dmitry Krivulets. And this should be exciting. I cannot see it going to the judges' scorecards. Touch of gloves, and we are underway.
Touch of gloves and no more love in those gloves until the fight is over.
Krivelet looks relaxed. I mean, to his credit, I mean, there is so much hype around Talha. I think most people know about his incredibly impressive amateur career as well. It is not easy to go undefeated in the IMAFs 3 years in a row.
Krivulets has a little too much weight set on that front foot. He's looking for the big shot just a little too hard. It's gonna get him taken down if Murtaza Talha chooses to. But Murtaza is in the growth stage of his career. He wants to try and stand and trade with a top striker like he's got in front of him to see where he's at.
Absolutely, and I think that would be so beneficial for Talha as well, because we know how good his grappling is, we know how good his ground and pound is, but can he take it to his opponents on the feet? And it was interesting, it was Krivulets actually engaging in the clinch here. Might be something he ends up regretting depending on what Talha does with his position here up against the cage.
Talha's power is extraordinary. People don't understand it until they feel it. He does things that shouldn't work because he has astonishing power. As you saw there, he got out of a body lock. Now he's got the back. He's starting to bring the pain.
Yeah, those knees to the thigh, they don't look like much when you're watching, but they definitely do a lot of good work for the one who's landing them. And nice takedown there from Talha right into back mount. Wow, look at this ground and pound.
Referee's watching carefully.
That is it.
Referee has stopped the fight. Ladies and gentlemen, Brave Nation, you are looking at a future world champion in Murtaza Talha.
I mean, Murtaza Talha looked great in his debut, but he looked even better here. This was just so slick. I mean, he took Krivulets down so easily there with a little trip, and then the ground and pound. I mean, it was just academic. Krivulets right away turtled up, accepted the position, accepted that defeat, and is bleeding, it seems like, as well. So those shots definitely hit their mark.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your referee, Nikolai Sharipov, calls an end to the action at 1 minute and 40 seconds of the very first round, declaring your winner via TKO due to ground and pound, fighting out of the red corner, Murtaza Talha! Brave Nation. appreciation. This next battle is 3 5-minute rounds in the Brave Combat Federation lightweight division. Introducing your first warrior, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 4 wins and 4 losses. He stands 173 centimeters tall and weighs in at 70 kilograms. Fighting out of Sochi, Russia by way of Kazakhstan, presenting Fyodor Babic. And his opponent, standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 3 wins and 1 loss. He stands 178 centimeters tall and weighs in at 70.75 kilograms. Presenting, fighting out of Russia, Murad Biryarov. Your referee in charge is Mr. Maxim Protasov.
Sebastian, our Russia versus the World tournament continues. Right now, we've got Russia versus Kazakhstan.
Absolutely, and this should be a good one. I think once again we might see a little bit of a striker versus grappler battle. I know that Babic definitely considers himself a striker anyway. He started training karate at age 9, went to kickboxing at age 16, and then shortly after that, just a year later, started training MMA at age 17. So again, experienced guys with lots of experience, with a lot of storied backgrounds and different types of martial arts.
That said, Sebastian, it's been known for quite a while now. It was said by Bob Fitzsimmons around 1910. He said this was a boxing world champion. He said 9 times out of 10, the wrestler will win.
Overhand right there from Fyodor Babic hits the target in a big way. Bilarov seems largely unfazed by it, though. But it was a good move of Babic to, show some of that power early, give Bilarov a little...
Oh, staggered! There's it wrestling!
What a takedown. I mean, Bilarov was on him in just a second, less even. Just took Babic down at will, and now we'll see what Babic has to work with on the ground.
Sebastian, there's that shelf again. Habib is inspiring a generation of Russian fighters in a new and improved way to win in the cage.
Absolutely. There he is hooking the legs, just making it so hard for Babic to get out of there and improve his position.
Even if a fighter does manage to escape from that shelf, and it does characteristically happen, you're going to get punched in the face in doing it. There is no way to get out of that shelf and not catch something upside the melon.
Absolutely. He's using the figure 4 hooker on the legs. Is Bilarov really committing to this position, and he's just so active. As soon as Babic starts moving, he has to eat a couple of shots from Bilarov. So far, though, Babic will seem to be taking it in stride. Not all too phased by some of the strikes.
They do accumulate, though. All these strikes to the body, these strikes to the head are a little bit like Money in the Bank. They're not going to end the fight right now, but over time they accumulate. They leave the opponent more tired, more shaken emotionally. So that's what you're looking at here. Money getting put in the piggy bank, shot by shot.
Very well said, Kirk. Absolutely. It is a great investment, especially this early into the round. I mean, Babic showed off some of his power, and Bilarov was like, okay, guess what? You're showing off your strength, I'm showing off mine. So Babic doing his best to try to get up, but it's just so hard when his legs are hit together like that.
Mixed martial arts was the modern incarnation of it. Was born in 1993, so 28 years ago, but it still continues to evolve. And this shelf that you're seeing here was developed here in Russia by a friend of Brave Combat Federation, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Probably his father had a hand in it too. And as you're seeing, when you develop new techniques, it's very hard for people until they learn it too. We saw it happen in the 90s with heel hooks. Fighters didn't know how to get over the heel hook. They all got broken legs. Then they learned. So what we're seeing here is the evolution of mixed martial arts.
Absolutely. I mean, MMA is a constantly evolving sport. I mean, if you were to flash back just a couple of years ago, you see different emphases in high levels of MMA. I mean, now the sort of Dagestani style of wrestling has just become so dominant. But, I mean, as you mentioned before, for a while it was heel hooks. We had some very strong American-style wrestlers for a while that were dominating. People learned how to defend that. And now we have Bilal advancing to side control. This is not good for Fyodor Babic. Babic from Kazakhstan, but actually trains here in Sochi.
What Bilarov is looking to do here is step over his opponent's arm, trap it, and then rain down punches unmercifully. It was unsuccessful. He ended up in top half guard. Let's see what he can do with it. There's a knee shield. Knee shield is in place to protect the bottom fighter's head. It was unsuccessful. This wrestling is just unstoppable right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Babic, to his credit, he did a good job at defending there momentarily, but it's right back into square one. And now we have Bilarov once again putting their legs together and just making life miserable for Fyodor Babic.
Babic did try a key, to his credit. He is not staying on bottom and simply trying to survive. He did try a key lock. But the problem with attempting an attack is it leaves you open to your opponent progressing in his position, and that's what we're seeing here. This is a shelf mount with terrible elbows coming down. A couple seconds left in the round. Pass to side and down, round in. There is no question. Was it I would argue it was not 10-9.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree with you. Babic, he did his best to defend. He did stop some advancement in the round. And he did land that big overhand right as well. But yeah, clear 10-9 round.
Federation, but it has happened in other leagues that cages have flown open, sometimes to injury effect. Excellent officiating here in Sochi, Russia.
Absolutely. Seemed like there was some water spilled on the ground in Fyodor Babic's corner. Obviously, we don't want fighters slipping, hurting himself. Oh, that was a nice little combination there. Beautiful strike and a finish off with the leg kick, but another takedown. I think Babic is going to regret going for that front kick that he threw there.
It's a problem in this sport. Everything that's going to give you a reward is also going to give you a risk. If you want to move around and throw light shots at your opponent that are never going to stop the fight, you can do that. You can do that for 5 minutes if you back up a lot. But if you set down on your shot, you sink down, you throw a shot that could end the fight, you can get taken down. That's what we saw happen right here. And again, we see Bilarov on top, threatening a side control, threatening a shelf. He's now got full side control. I believe the last time he wanted to trap that near arm between his legs, leaving the head exposed. We may see him move towards that very shortly.
I think so too, Kurt. I think he wants that crucifix position. And it seems to be where I like those knees to the midsection on the ground, where you don't see them too often, but they are effective when they are used.
What that shows is that Babic is not using his guard to the fullest extent. You can't create that kind of distance, move the knee all the way back. Beautiful guard pass, and land that knee if your opponent is trying to move his hips away and go to guard. If you have a relatively passive guard, yeah, it can have a devastating effect.
This is some high-level grappling here from Murad Bilarov. I mean, the way that he passes is just, it's something to behold. Oh! Interesting here. from the bottom. Fyodor Bobic goes to the armbar. It looks all right, but
elbow's not quite, I don't think it's quite where it needs to be yet. He's out. And there's a payback for that.
absolutely. I mean, as you said before, Carrick, high risk, high reward. If you're on the bottom and you go for it.
Coming out.
Fyodorov going for the floor, but so far, well defended from Fyodor Bobic.
This is highly unusual. We've got a head triangle and a key lock simultaneously.
Oh, and once again, Fyodorov is on it. Oh, and let's tighten
Turn it
up.
into a hammer lock. It's hard to get the submission with the wrist that far up the back. Not impossible.
Oh, that is it. Murat Fyodorov puts a stamp on it with his second round submission over Fyodor Bobic.
First round tonight, technical submission when the opponent went to sleep and was unable to tap. That was a clear tap out.
Wow, the Fyodorov lived up to what high man gets. And he ate that haymaker of an overhand right like it was nothing. And then that almost just sort of getting it going instead. Here we have some of the highlights from fight sequence. And again, initially, Bobic did very well defensively, but he really played Fyodorov left.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee, Maxim Protestov, calls a halt to the action at 2 minutes and 42 seconds of round number 2, declaring your winner via submission due to Kimura, fighting out of the red corner, Murad Bilal! Brave Nation, this next bout is 3 5-minute rounds in a catchweight bout of 71 kilograms. Introducing your first warrior, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 14 wins and 14 losses. He stands 175 centimeters tall and weighs in at 70.8 kilos. Fighting out of Tajikistan, presenting Jahangir Shahid Iramov. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 16 wins and 3 losses. He stands 178 centimeters tall and weighs in at 70.8 kilograms. Fighting out of Kyrgyzstan, presenting Abdi Salam Ulu Omok Kubanich Bey.
Oh, that was exciting.
Ooh, some intensity in the air here ahead of his 71-kilogram catchweight fight. These guys are ready to get it on.
Omak walked center ring, pointed to it, saying to his opponent, let's stand here and trade. Opponent took it as a personal offense, walked up, exchanged some glances, and now it's on.
I was almost surprised to see them touch gloves, but here we are. And Said Jamalov draws first blood with a lead jab there. And as you mentioned, Kubanichbek has a background in wrestling, but he is just such an effective striker. He has a lot of KO power, especially in his left hook.
It's one of the things that's the hardest to develop for wrestlers is striking. There's a certain rhythm, and of course all the pulling in wrestling, and it doesn't lend itself to the fluidity, to the rhythm of striking. So what you're seeing is somebody who had a wrestling base and overcame that, and now punches, kicks, puts his shots together with tremendous fluidity and rhythm.
We last saw Kubanich in November of last year at Brave 45, where he defeated Vagiv Askerov by a first-round TKO. A result I'm sure he will be pleased to replicate here.
Oh, nice shot. Omak wobbled just a little. Omak waiting to find his feet. They're not quite there.
Said Jamalov has some power in his punches. That was a solid combination.
Brave Nation, if you don't get hit in the head a lot, when you're hit in the head, you've got 5 to 10 seconds. You got to hang through. Then you recover. Body shots are different. Get hit in the body, it's going to last a while. Omak got hit in the head. He did make it through the 5, maybe 10 seconds. He's back to normal.
Yeah, he has definitely turned things around here. He is now the one pressing the action. He landed a nice kick a little bit earlier. And some good strikes here as well. Nothing super powerful, nothing that's going to end the fight, but he is definitely getting back into the fight.
He's got to respect that power from the fighter from Tajikistan, though. If another shot lands like that, just a little cleaner, it's lights out.
Absolutely. I mean, both of these fighters have fight-ending power at pretty much any moment. Uppercut, hellacious uppercut missed there from Omak, which could definitely have altered the course of the fight had it landed. Said Jamalov smiles after landing a leg kick of his own. And he eats one as well from Omak.
Maybe an accidental eye poke. Omak's not sure what happened. Did not realize that the fight was stopped. The referee may have been out of view when he stopped it. Sebastian, sometimes these happen, and it's a punch to the eye, and the fighter feels like a finger went in the eye, and it didn't. In the heat of the fight, you can't quite tell.
Absolutely.
Right now, referee is telling Omak, keep your fingers together, and the fight goes on.
And I would not expect Kubanich to have done anything like that on purpose. I mean, sometimes in those exchanges, even if it were the finger that slips, you know, your hand just kind of opens up, you know, after you've landed a strike. Maybe it just, there could be several different things that prompted it. Either way, they are back in action now. Leg kick misses there from both fighters, actually.
I like how Kubanich is always feinting with the hands, always feinting with the hips, always double leg denied. Not quite sufficient commitment on that double leg. Omak now is his opponent up against the fence. He's very skilled at tying up and going into elbows, and they can be fight turning. We've seen it before.
Nice takedown from Kubanich. He was landing some solid shots as well, especially a left hand that definitely got Said Jamalov's attention. And now instead it is on the ground. Said Jamalov working hard to get back onto his feet, but Kubanich just not giving him the space required to do so. Oh, he's going for a rear naked choke.
Very tough to get without position first. There is an old adage, position before submission. There are times you can break it. I'm not sure this is one of them. This is a time you can try and break your opponent's head, though, and that's what's going on.
Absolutely. Kubanich just unloading with strikes on Said Jamalov, who is holding on to his opponent's left hand for dear life just to make sure that the choke is not completed. Oh, but he lets go in just a split second.
Oh, that's escaped. Ooh, but it's frying pan into the fire. You escape the choke, and there's shots raining down on you.
Yeah, this is a terrible position for Said Jamalov. I mean, he just can't really get out of there. I mean, Kubanich is just not giving him any space to work with at all.
As I alluded to earlier, this fighter is absolutely relentless, and he will attack you with strikes, with submissions, and with his wrestling. There is no rest whatsoever against this man. Said Jamalov doesn't seem to want any rest. He's trying to stand. He's trying to bring the fight back up to his feet. He is up on his feet. We're down to short time now, Brave Nation, about 5 seconds. Omak looking maybe for a takedown to cement this round. And that's time. Mighty, mighty round.
Absolutely, a great first round, and especially for Kubanich, who really came on strongly there. Ironically enough, after getting tagged himself, it's almost like they woke him up, got him into the fight. He realized that he needs to give a little bit more, and that he certainly did. Finished off around very, very strong. Back clinch was position, landed a strong knee in that position as well, and just dozens of strikes from the back mount.
Everybody knows Russian fighters are arguably the toughest in the world, and I have to say, I don't know if you've noticed, but these fighters don't even use stools. Everybody's like, I don't need to sit down on a stool. Only weak people do that. Some of them stand, some of them rest on the ground. People so tough they don't even need a stool. That's it. It's seconds out. Everybody's got 10 seconds to exit the Brave Combat Federation cage, so the action can resume for you, our great fans.
And let's see how Saidjamilov gets back into the fight, because as mentioned, he started off very strongly. I mean, he kind of clipped Kubanichbek in the early instances of the first round, but then Omak just got back into a fight and started taking over. So let's see what adjustments Saidjamilov can make here. Nice little strike combination there. Mostly missed or blocked.
A punch is most effective. It's most likely to knock the opponent out. Not there when an opponent is moving away, but when you can catch an opponent moving in.
Kubanichbek is finding the target with that right hand. Twice it got through. Very nice work. Going for a takedown now, which is being well defended by Saidjamilov, who lands a nice counter and a left hand, but Omak fires back.
That's what makes Omak such a special fighter. He was completely dominating the standing, landing left, right, could have continued with that, and instead, level changed, got in on his opponent, took him down to the mat, and now is threatening something even worse than a left and a right to the head.
Absolutely, he is back. Oh, he's got it!
It is over!
That is it.
Omak gets the tap!
Abdusalam Ulu Kubanichbek lines up another victory here in Brave Combat Federation. Does it with style. That was a very...
Sharipov has called an end to the action at 1 minute and 8 seconds of round number 2, declaring your winner via submission due to rear naked choke, fighting out of the red corner, Abdisalam Ulu Omar Kubani. This next battle is 3 5-minute rounds in a catchweight 59-kilo bout. Introducing your first warrior, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 1 win, 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. He stands 168 centimeters tall and weighs in at 59 kilograms. Fighting out of Russia, Magomed Bullet Kamalov. And his opponent standing across the cage, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 9 wins and 4 losses. He stands 160 centimeters tall, weighing in at 57.5 kilograms, fighting out of Uzbekistan, presenting Zarkirzon Kasimov! Your referee in charge is Mr. Nikolai Sharipov.
Once again, both of these fighters are kitted out in Green Hill apparel. My opinion, the finest mixed martial arts apparel on the planet.
And we are off with our second bout of the evening. Kasimov in kind of a hurry to make it to the center of a cage and starting things off with, you know, some fakes, some feints. Testing the waters here. Hit and low kick misses from Kamalov. And Kamalov is a fighter with great cardio, and it's a bit of a contrast to Kasimov. Not that he doesn't have good cardio, it's just he usually doesn't have to use it too often because he's out of there before it's over.
So Kirzon clearly showing more aggression so far. Feinting level changes, preparatory to a double leg, also feinting with the hands. Opponent does not know if his opponent's going to be in on the hips or trying to land the big shots with the hands.
And once again, we see him just sort of, you know, testing the range, and I think it was a pretty solid leg kick that landed there from Kasimov. And head kick blocked, but even when you block a really hard kick, it can still do a lot of damage. We've seen fighters get knocked out by a head kick despite blocking it. Mark Munoz against Lyoto Machida comes to mind, for example.
It can indeed, Sebastian. I've actually reffed 2 fights to date in which an opponent got a broken arm from a high kick.
Nice volume here from Kasimov, really mixing things up nicely. I mean, very well defended takedown there for Kamalov, but I like the variety we're seeing here from Kasimov. Nice heavy leg kick lands there. And it seems to be, or it seems as if Kasimov has a bit of a speed advantage. And you gotta wonder if Kamalov is in some ways a little bit affected of coming off of his first loss, if that has perhaps made him a little bit tentative, not willing to rush into anything.
Sebastian, I believe that Bullet right now is still trying to get a complete sense of his opponent's speed, but he just turned it on. I think that's the Bullet we're going to see from now on in. Flying knees, there you go, spinning kicks.
Yeah, I think he has gotten started, and if you were to just look at the body types, Kamalov seems like a stronger, larger, heavier fighter for sure, despite the fact that Kasimov actually weighed in at more. Spinning hook kick misses for Kasimov. Nice knee to the midsection there from Kamalov.
Sebastian, we've seen the 2 fighters take each other's measure on the outside. Now they're in an all-important part, up against the cage, and we've seen Bullet on top with a quick takedown.
And let's see what he can do here from the full guard. It's an open guard as well, so. And some shoulder strikes from the guard, a pretty unusual technique. Don't see it that often, but it is becoming more and more popular. And it seems like he's not really too intent on advancing right now because the guard is open, and he hasn't really made, Kamalov that is, hasn't made any, you know, clear attempts at advancing. But some fighters, they like keeping it around the guard just to sort of soften up their opponent a little bit, test the waters in the ground before they advance. And I suspect that might be what we're seeing here.
With Kasimov as close as he is to that fence, I'd like to see him start wall walking now. Actually, I'd like to see him start wall walking about 10 seconds ago.
Yeah,
what
right?
he's got to do is go hand, knee, elbow, foot, and then boop, get himself up and off the ground. Until he does that, he is going to be at a huge disadvantage, as you can see.
Absolutely. It seems like he's a little bit too passive in this position. He has to make some kind of advancements himself as well. He can't just accept his position and give it to Kamalov, because Kamalov will ride him here all night if he has to, just pounding him out with strikes and shoulders.
In the earliest days of the sport, you did regularly see submissions from the guard. It's much less usual now when there's striking involved. It makes it a much, much tougher proposition to earn that. There we go. Now we see the fighters trying to come to his knees, but he is denied. Kamalov does appear to be the superior wrestler, and he's using that wrestling to keep his opponent on his back.
And he has advanced to half guard now. Much more advantageous position for him, and he just looks comfortable here. He really just is putting it on Koshimov here on the ground, who really doesn't have much of an answer for this position. Nice knee here on the ground as well. Of course, knees to the body are allowed on the ground, and elbows as well. I mean, this is just not where Koshimov wants to be. This is his opponent's home turf, basically. Right in front of our broadcast position here with some hard shots from Kamalov.
This is the mauling style that's been popularized by a good friend of Brave Combat Federation, Habib Nurmagomedov. We're seeing a beautiful example of it here in the Brave Combat Federation cage. Round ends!
What a strong round from Magomed Kamalov. I don't think there's any air of mystery as to who won that very first round. A dominant performance from Kamalov. Although, you know, you've got to give Kamalov some credit as well. He started the round up very, very nice. Some variety, some kicks, some punches, 2 takedown attempts, but I guess nothing really too significant either. The best thing he got was a really solid leg kick. So he really has to come back in a big way now in the second round to sway the tide of battle back into his favor.
No question in my mind that that was a 10-9 round in his favor. However, it was not, as you broke down point by point, it was not a 10-8 round. It was not an utterly dominating round. We did see good action from both fighters on this card. Hopefully we see some good action on a replay coming up. Round 2, Brave Nation.
All right, let's see what Koshimov has for answer for the grappling of Magomed Kamalov. And I think he might be a little bit more tentative in some respects, or at least a little bit more defensively minded. Oh, nice!
Oh, the Senchai kick.
That is not what I expected to see from Magomed Kamalov there. And just as his opponent, Koshimov landed a nice leg kick again.
Brave Nation, that kick that you just saw happens just a handful of time in mixed martial arts in an entire year. That was awesome.
That is the MMA striking equivalent of a Loch Ness monster. Seldom seen, but always appreciated. And I like that left hand that Koshimov landed there, but he's got to get away from the cage. Another solid leg kick. Koshimov really attacking that lead leg of Kamalov, and there is some noticeable redness on it, but there another deep takedown from Magomed Kamalov, who just puts Koshimov back on the ground right where he wanted him.
What we're seeing here, Sebastian, is why wrestling is the most important component of mixed martial arts, and it's also why Russia is so dominant in the sport. People see two fighters and they don't think wrestling has that much relevance, but the wrestling is what allows you to keep the fight striking on the feet if you want to, or stop it if you want to. And if you have this kind of vicious ground and pound, it means the opponent doesn't have an opportunity to throw a submission up from bottom.
Those were proper elbows right there. I think we saw about 7 or 8 straight heavy elbows and more. Oh, Koshimov's got to do something. This fight is going to get stopped, so he cannot keep eating those heavy elbows. And I think he has a cut open up on him now as well. Elbows will do that. Koshimov looks unfazed, but he's got to get out of here. Oh, this is heavy ground and pound.
Referee is talking to the fighter, telling him he needs to fight out of there. If he doesn't see some more action, this fight is going to be stopped.
Absolutely, and it would be a good stoppage. I think Koshimov is probably eating close to 20 elbows. Oh, this is close to getting stopped. This is very close to getting stopped.
Referee is saying watch the back of the head, but both fighters bear responsibility when there's a blow to the back of the head. The fighter on bottom cannot turn his head and then complain he was hit there.
Exactly. And Koshimov just seems a little out of his element here. I mean, the top control of Magomed Kamalov is just so strong. And it seems like Koshimov definitely is bleeding from the back of his head, so one of those strikes must have gotten through. Oh, heavy shots here from Kamalov. How much can Koshimov take?
Sebastian, also, Kamalov has those legs shelved. It's a technique that's been popularized by Khabib Nurmagomedov. What he's done is he's lifted his opponent's ankles off the ground and slid his calves underneath them, making it virtually impossible for the opponent to rise until he escapes that shelf. It's an extremely advanced technique. Unbelievable we're seeing it here on just the second fight of the card.
Absolutely, it's very high-level grappling, and it makes it so hard to get out of that position. Oh, this is close to getting stopped. Once again,
That's it!
That
it's
is
over.
it!
Referee calls an end to the bout. Perfect stoppage. There's not going to be any complaints from anybody, including your winner, who just flipped through the air. Magomed bullet, Kamalov!
Wow, that was one-way traffic as soon as it went to the ground. Kamalov has suffocating top control, never letting Koshimov off the hook. Constant ground and pound, constant work. And as you pointed out here, hooking the leg side of that just made it so hard for someone to get out of there. I mean, look at these strikes. This is brutal ground and pound. Koshimov's hair was soaked with his own blood. The referee forced him to step in there.
Huge respect as well to Kazirzo Kasimov. He's an excellent fighter, but he's not yet a complete fighter. And if the part of your game that's missing is wrestling, and you're going against a Russian, it's not going to go your way.
Absolutely. I mean, if there was any criticism of Koshimov, was perhaps the level of his competition coming in here. And obviously, he has not faced as strong of a grappler or wrestler as Magomed Kamalov.
Two fighters are now embracing the Middle Grade Combat Federation cage. That's what you saw right there. Two men fighting their hearts out, then extending respect to each other.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your referee, Nikolai Sharipov, has called an end to the action at 3 minutes and 40 seconds of the second round, declaring your winner via TKO due to ground and pound, fighting out of the red corner, Magomed Bullet Kamalov!
Nation, our second fight of the evening. Three-minute rounds in an amateur flyweight bout. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man's a mixed martial artist making his amateur debut. He stands 167 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 56.8 kilograms. Fighting out of Lebanon, please welcome Wissam Sandakli! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a perfect amateur record of 4 wins and no losses. He stands 167 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 57 kilograms. Fighting out of the magnificent Kingdom of Bahrain and KHK MMA, give it up for Mohammed Zuhair! Your referee in charge of the action is Hadi Muhammad Ali.
Big shout out to our gold sponsor, Sabarco Car Group. That's Sabarco, Khalid Abdul Rahim, our gold sponsor. Thank you.
Tail of the tape there, everything identical apart from the age. Mohammed Zuhair, 1 year younger than Wissam Sandakli. Wissam in the blue corner, Mohammed Zuhair in the red. We are underway, this flyweight contest scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds.
Even just in that opening exchange, you can see the heavy hands, but the KHK man marauding forward, catches Sandakli with a nice shot.
We've seen Zuhair fight before. This is a bad little man.
I've got to say the confidence though of Wissam, even on the walkout there of Mohammed, he was taking in everything, big deep breaths. Really enjoying this moment, this debut here, and it's a big debut against a highly touted young talent in Mohamed Zuhair.
Those kicks are absolute money in the bank, but there is that beautiful KHK style. Use your strikes to set up the takedown, and from here I expect to see some serious work from Zuhair.
What an entry on that takedown. Mohamed Zuhair. Double leg, turned the corner, took it to the mat. Wissam now on his back. We know his striking prowess, Phil. You've talked about that Muay Thai background, the kickboxing background. But you have to be a complete fighter in mixed martial arts. And we're going to learn a lot about his ground game right now as he's on the bottom against Mohamed.
There's a little bit of a debate in mixed martial arts. It used to be when you took somebody down, you wanted to press them up against the cage so they couldn't use their guard effectively. But now fighters have developed being able to use the cage in order to stand up. Some fighters prefer to actually be off the cage. We're getting a little view now on what our KHK fighter chooses, and he does seem to want to have his man up against the cage so he can press him against it, nullifying the guard and raining down shots.
He's doing a beautiful job of just neutralizing his opponent right now. He's happy to sit in that anchor position, the half guard that we're seeing popularized a lot more in MMA. Fighters seem to be happy to sit in the half guard posture, land strikes from there, and that's exactly what he's doing, Brian.
Yeah, and you saw as well there from Wissam, he was trying to get his back to the cage, but every time he set that post, it was taken away by Mohamed. Strong opening start here from Zuhair. Almost a minute left in this round.
And he's almost triangles the legs there, again solidifying the position. What I love that he's doing, he's calm. He's not taking any unnecessary risks. He's solidifying a position and then working from there. Very intelligent mixed martial arts.
And Kirik, when you are in this bottom position under this sort of pressure by somebody who knows how to apply that pressure in the right places, it is literally like drowning.
This is what you're seeing is the evolution of martial arts. Mixed martial arts was born from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the bottom half guard is the single most productive position you can be in. It's where the most points are won. It's the opposite in mixed martial arts. It's basically being half mounted, if not worse.
Some space being made there from Wissam, but straight away, back on top, into the guard goes Mohamed. Big shots coming down, Phil.
And from inside the guard, he's throwing big shots. He's happy. Just
big left, nice.
May try and swing the legs here, but Wissam really needs to do everything. He needs a little bit, a greater degree of urgency, Brian. Get that back to the cage, and it's easy for me to say in this position sitting here, but I'd like to see a little bit more urgency. Get the feet on the hips. Try and make something happen. Shift the hips. Throw up even the threat of a submission.
Round one in the bank, and what we have learned there, Kirik, is there is a very obvious game plan, and he imposed it back at Brave 45 against Ali Abhamda, and he's imposing it once again against Wissam. What does Wissam have to do now to avoid that takedown, because the entry came from so far away?
You're going to see right here what he needs to do. He needs to avoid what happened there, the beautiful level change in the timing. In order to throw that off, he's got to be staccato with his footwork. If he starts to move in a predictable fashion in any way, he's going to get taken down again, and I don't believe he'll be able to stand back up.
And you have to say it's got to be more of the same from Mohamed Zuhair's corner. They've got to be happy with what they've seen in those first 3 minutes.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, it's pretty much lather, rinse, repeat right now for the young man. What he needs to be wary of is the potential of the likes of an uppercut when you're shooting from so far away. Now, it was a beautiful takedown, turned the corner expertly, but if Wissam or his corner get wise to that and he has an uppercut loaded, it could be very dangerous.
Set for round number 2 here at Brave 47, Combat Kingdom. What a fantastic setting. We are at Fort Arad, and these two young flyweights set to go at it once again. You can see the damage there on the eye of Wissam from the...
a lot of swelling there, isn't there, Brian?
Certainly is. Wissam in the blue corner, Mohamed Zuhair in the red. Just look how loose the movement on Mohamed Zuhair. Almost baiting him in. You can tell that he's going to look to change those levels and get it back to the mat as soon as he can. There you go.
How good is the defensive wrestling here, Wiz? But that is so tenacious in on that single leg. Just pops the leg of his opponent right out and again lands in the dominant position. And is this going to be pretty much a mirror image of the first round?
Well, you talked about in the first round, Kirik, how the fence can be your friend if you're trying to get back up, but it can be your enemy for your if you're trying to avoid the takedown. And we saw that there with Mohamed Zuhair. He had nowhere to go as far as sprawling, and that was just, from Wissam. And Mohamed Zuhair was able to utilize that to get it down to the mat, and this time in side control.
Wissam wants to go elbow, knee, hand, foot, and try and drive himself back up to standing where he's going to be able to acquit himself better. Ooh. He has not been able to so far. He's getting into deeper and deeper water. Those knee shots are going to have an effect.
Look at the way they're coming back, Phil. You made the noise. Imagine what they feel like, the torque on those knees coming down from Mohamed Zuhair.
And look how intelligent the hips are here of Zuhair. He felt a little bit of movement from his opponent. He switched the scarf. Very, very smart.
More pressure, just a miserable spot to be in for Wissam. That forearm in his face. Stepping over to full mount now is Mohamed.
Oh, that was like a hot knife through butter, and if he can posture here and get some strikes off, it could be game over.
Wissam on bottom. What does he need to do from this position, Kirik?
He's got three main options. One he tried earlier, which is a backdoor escape. This is the worst possible response for him.
Oh,
he's now giving up his back. He's giving his opponent leverage, and ultimately he's going to give up his neck.
Peppering with shots is Mohamed Zuhair, looking to open up, see if he flattens out Wissam.
He's a little bit high up the body. I'd like to see him get down a little bit if he's to flatten his opponent out. But he's landing lots and lots of little pot shots here. And this being an amateur bout, the more he lands of these, the greater the likelihood the fight will get stopped.
Looking so comfortable. Round one, he looked fantastic, but round two really has elevated it once more. A dominant performance here from Mohamed Zuhair.
We could see Sadagli try and tripod here a little bit, try and get up and almost shuck his opponent off his back. He's trying to do the right things, but those hooks look like they're in deep, gentlemen.
The patient work as well from Mohamed. He's not rushing anything. He's maintaining position, keeping those shots coming. Now he's looking to lock up the submission. Can he get this?
Oh, there's the tap. It's over. As you said,
tap.
As you said, Brian, that was a beautiful illustration of patience in mixed martial arts. Solidified the position and just methodically worked for it.
And there we have some acrobatics at the end. We looked, I mean, he showed us a flair with the celebration there, but look at the fundamentals this young man brings to the cage. The takedowns, the positional understanding, and then the patience to wait out for that submission. Wissam looking very disappointed with that, but he just came up against an absolute beast in Mohamed Zuhair.
He did, and what we saw here is one of the fundamental principles of mixed martial arts, and that's position before submission. If you can secure position, there are multiple ways to end the fight. You could take an arm, you can take the neck, you can win with strikes, but you have to have solid fundamentals. You have to have that beautiful positioning, and that's what we saw right here from Mohamed Zuhair.
Talk us through the replay, Phil. This is the tap.
What you didn't see there was how he transitioned to that. So he took the back beautifully. He landed some beautiful little pot shots to loosen up the opponent, gets the rear naked choke, elicits the tap, and moves to 5-0 as an amateur mixed martial artist.
And not a mark on him. Look at how fresh that young man looks. The KHK, the Bahraini flag is flowing high already in this cage. It will once again, so let's make it official. Let's hand it to Carlos Kramer.
All right, Brave Nation, another exciting bout. This one is stopped at 2 minutes and 43 seconds of the very second round. Your winner by rear naked choke from KHK MMA and the magnificent Kingdom of Bahrain, Mohamed Zuhair.
And there we have it, winner by rear naked choke, Mohamed Zuhair.
All right, Brave Nation, get ready for our first bout, which is three 3-minute rounds in the amateur lightweight division. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man's a mixed martial artist making his amateur debut. He stands 176 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 66.6 kilograms. Representing TriStar Gym Lebanon and fighting out of Lebanon, please welcome Raymond Reyes. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with an amateur record of 1 win and no losses. He stands 180 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 70.7 kilograms. Representing KHK MMA and fighting out of the magnificent Kingdom of Bahrain. Give it up for Hussein
So we have a look at the tail of the tape ahead of this battle. You'll see height and reach on the side of the Bahraini fighter, Hussein Mohammed, and the debut for Raymond Risk from the Lebanon.
Also a bit of a discrepancy there in the weight. Risk coming in at 66.6 could have conceivably made featherweight, so it'll be interesting to see if that's a hindrance or a positive for him, because we do see a lot of fighters now fighting a little bit lighter, so it'll be interesting to see how that transpires.
Brave Nation, pro fighters often begin with a minute or two of a feeling out process. The amateurs sometimes go right at it.
Three-minute rounds. We have Hussein Mohammed in the red corner, Raymond Risk in the blue. And you can see the size difference evident instantly just as they square up in this opening stanza.
You can see the stance switching there coming from Risk, illustrating that he does have that Taekwondo background. In and out, there's a kick to the body.
Gotta be careful, that rear hand there of Mohammed greeted him as he came in.
Trying to come over the top is Risk.
Oh, slight hesitation there from Mohammed. You can see the athleticism, that footwork from Raymond Risk already, that Taekwondo background that you talked about on the entry.
And he's trying to skirt around the cage, but he needs to be careful doing that because he doesn't want to find himself with his back against the cage. Oh, big kick to the chops.
There we go, just under the chin, a warning shot on the beard there of Raymond Risk. Oh, overhand right as well there from Hussein Mohammed. Just
he threw that like a fastball, Brian. And you can see how calm Hussein looks there.
Oof, ducks under there, the taller Hussein Mohammed. Interesting opening minute, this, Kirik.
It is. Hussein Mohammed clearly has big confidence in the power in his hands. He's very carefully stalking his opponent from the outside. He's going to download some information on exactly where he can launch from. In the next 30 seconds or so, I expect him to land a big right hand.
That's a beautiful spinning back fist there from Risk. If he had a little bit more on it, could have made a dent. He's changing his levels well, but also like he's trying to fake the shot and come over the top with a big overhand.
Yeah, you can see that the little tricks, he was looking low, went high there, but does look a little bit intimidated by Hussein Mohammed. He's had that warning shot, that high kick, oh, almost again.
Striking background evident for Hussein Mohammed there. And one thing is, he's a 1-0 amateur, but look how calm he looks in there, Brian.
The smile on his face, this is somebody who's found the place he is born to be. Just a minute left in this opening round now here at Brave 47, Asian Domination.
Oh, he caught him there with the straight.
Backing him up again, good head movement there, but he's got to be careful ducking down.
Hussein Mohammed is showing a superior skill set, but he needs to use it a little bit more. He's going to have to step into that pocket and start to show the Brave Nation what he's got.
Oh, that was a big kick to the body. Sorry, Brian.
No, heavy body shot there. But what you're seeing from Hussein Mohammed, he's throwing those big kicks, but he's throwing one point. Oh, another knee meets him. That's dropped him. Raymond Risk down, the referee checking.
Risk eating big, heavy hammer fist there. Closes the guard. Is he just going to hold on for the rest of the round?
Time is ticking out. Should see the end of this final 10 seconds of round number 1.
You can hear the corner just calling for Riz to hold on to Hussein, try and ride out the riot.
Round 1 down, gentlemen. Who did you like in that first round? 10-9, call it.
10-9, but for me, Hussein Mohammed, the bigger shots, the more pressure. Seem to have Raymond Risk on the back foot, but look at the weapons, that spinning back fist Raymond had. Yeah. He has potential to use it. He's just got to get more confidence in finding that range.
Looking at our replay now, courtesy of Green Hill.
And there was a couple of moments there where it looked like Riz could potentially pull the trigger and almost at the last second kind of retreated and didn't commit fully. I think if he commits to his shots a little bit more and has a little bit more confidence, as you say, Brian, he could be more productive. But that was a beautiful knee to the body, dropping his opponent. Hussein Mohammed finishing very, very strong.
And there we see the corner of Raymond Risk. Elevate their fighter, grow that belief in this minute that they have to reignite the battle.
Gentlemen, I don't know if you caught it, but Brave Combat Federation is always pushing the boundaries of technology in this sport. The cornerman was wearing a headset similar to a GoPro, but more sophisticated, so the camera can get absolutely everywhere, up close and personal.
And we've talked about Raymond Risk, what he needs to do. Kirik, Hussein Mohammed, what would you like to see from him as we go into the second round?
Hussein Muhammad needs to step into that pocket. He needs to step into the fire and show what he can do. He's not going to necessarily dominate this fight from the outside. He's going to have to put himself in danger. If he does, I think he can win this pretty handily.
Set for round number 2 here. Brave 47. Raymond Rizk in the blue corner. Hussein Muhammad in the red. Me, Brian Lacey, alongside Phil Campbell and Kieran Jennis calling the action. Another one of those spinning back fists there, Phil.
He started to telegraph them ever so slightly. You can see him taking that shot out to the side.
Oh, a little mistake in the footwork there from Raymond Rizk. Almost puts him
Down
in
to
trouble.
the ground!
That's a huge takedown, and again, we're seeing just how good of an exponent he is of that KHK style. Advancing the position, settling well.
And you talk about the weight difference coming into this. This is where it will play a part, Kieran, right?
It will. One of the things that you have to do to dominate a fighter in this sport is exhaust them. It's very hard to stop somebody when they're fresh. When they're exhausted, not so hard at all.
And
He's doing it right now.
He's just transitioned beautifully into the mount. These are huge strikes.
Massive strikes coming down. Hammer fist connected.
Referee's watching carefully. We may be seconds away.
If he can continue landing these kinds of strikes, it's game over. Mateus taking a long, hard look at this. There's still a little bit of fight left in Rizk.
He is scrambling, trying to make some space, trying to engage those legs, get them back in the game, but pushed back to the mat once more by Hussein Muhammad.
Oh, he's eating big shots here, gentlemen. Hammer fist.
And
it's over!
Mateus calls an end to the action. The KHK man gets the victory. Beautiful performance.
Moves to 2-0, and what a moment, what a way to open Brave 47 here in the Combat Kingdom.
What was so beautiful about that performance, gentlemen, he did exactly what he had to do. Little bit of a feeling out process in the first round, turned it up exponentially going into the second round. Big takedown, transition to the mount, heavy shots, game over.
And Raymond Rizk, that little slip in the footwork that opened up that mount position for Hussein Muhammad, but you have to just credit the work there. When he smelt blood, he went for the finish and left Mateus absolutely no option but to finish, call the end of that fight.
Big props as well to Raymond Rizk. He acquitted himself well. It wasn't good enough tonight. I absolutely guarantee he's going to have a thriving career ahead of him, though.
We'll make this moment official. We look at those hammer fists coming down now on the replay. One after the other. Look at the relief there on Hussein Muhammad. What a moment for him and his team. He was smiles right from the beginning. And the hard work has paid off. What a fantastic victory for that young man. Now 2-0 as an amateur. Let's hand it to the man in the middle, Mr. Carlos Kramer.
All right, Brave Nation, what a way to start this historic night. This bout ends at 1 minute 11 seconds of the very second round. Your winner by TKO, out of the red corner, Hussein Muhammad!
And there we have it, our opening bout. We have our victor. His hand is raised, Hussein Muhammad. Again, just what a talent. So young, 18 years of age, to come in with that sort of composure.
All right, Brave Nation. This next battle is 3 5-minute rounds in a catchweight, 59-kilogram bout. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 6 wins and 1 loss. He stands 170 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 58.65 kilograms. Representing Fighter KG and fighting out of Kyrgyzstan, please welcome Nurbek the Prince Bolotbekov. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a perfect professional record of 6 wins and no losses. He stands 169 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 58.75 kilograms. Representing Hawaii Fitness and fighting out of Almaty, Kazakhstan, please welcome Damir Sehulo Talinov. Your referee inside of the cage is Alexander Lunga.
Tail of the tape, you can see Damir Talinov, the elder fighter, Everything else is incredibly close. Both these fighters ready to make a statement on the global stage. Here we go. Bekov taking the center of the cage momentarily. Both these guys a little tentative to start, but as we've seen so far tonight, starting off tentative usually makes for incredible action.
I'm expecting something big from Bekov fairly soon, Phil.
Bekov does have 5 wins by submission, doesn't have that KO or TKO win on his ledger yet. And he will be desperate to get a highlight reel win here tonight in front of a global audience.
Bekov doing a very good job of not betraying anything. You can't tell if he's looking for a takedown, a kick, punches, base switch.
Nice outside leg kick being landed there by Tolinov. I like that long looping kind of pawing action. Oh, was that a jab that stiffed him? Or a jab that, sorry, rocked him?
There's a furious ground and pound we're seeing now, Phil.
Bekov following up with some heavy ground and pound, but needs to be aware of the armbar here. You can see Tolinov just working for it. Does have 2 wins by submission. Could he add a 3rd?
Arm is well defended.
Now needs to be wary of just giving up that arm, leaving it in. Has to get out of this position technically. He can't just try and power out of it, or he's going to leave himself susceptible to the submission.
Trying to power out of things in this situation actually makes him worse. It's a technical attack. It requires a technical defense.
And right now, what does Bekov need to do? Is he just tie up his opponent, try and get the stand up, or wait for his opponent to give him a little space to work?
Right now, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He got himself into safe territory. He's going to inch towards that wall, pass guard, and start to rain down shots.
Oh, tries to land a big shot. Cejudo in on a takedown of his own now. Doesn't have the hands connected, but that needs to be wary of the guillotine here. Can't quite tell how tight it is, but it's the early stages. Oh, it looks tight, and he's going to eat some shots.
Elbows just a little high.
Like I said, frenetic pace by the lightweight, or the lighter weight fighter, should I say. That jab is absolute money for Bekov. Oh, land a shot just behind the ear. The equilibrium could be off a little bit of Tolinov. He's not showing anything. He's not giving anything away. He's in on the takedown. Now let's see what kind of work he can do. Again, shades of Cejudo.
Fantastic rolling escape. That's the second time I've seen that one tonight. Maybe characteristic of the game here. I do have to say it's new to me.
Both these guys showing just how well versed they are in all areas. Lovely transitions on the ground, but he may have been caught with a little shot there. Bekov gave him the Nate Diaz-esque, I think I caught you. Again, good long jab work. Oh, spinning back fist just grazed Bekov. Both these guys are so evenly matched, Carrick. It's making for an incredible fight.
And Phil, that coming from a 19-year-old, absolutely mind-blowing to me.
Cejudo needs to be careful of coming in because it looks like... Oh! Just as I say that, big shot from Cejudo, but...
Sweet left hook.
Bekov looked like he was trying to line up that shot. In the clinch, big knees from the former youth world Muay Thai champion. Oh, tried the throw, and sometimes when it doesn't come off, that's exactly what happens. You give up your back.
Back take, we got a tight body lock from behind.
Was that perhaps...
Single hook in.
Was that perhaps a little bit of youthful exuberance and inexperience from Bekov?
Certainly a lot of aggression, and it's paying off for him.
Tolinov with the takedown now, but needs to be wary of the guillotine attempt here. He's trying to... He has the hands connected, but it's going to be very difficult when you don't have the half guard or the guillotine guard. Potential for a north-south here from Tolinov. Could be a case of a little bit too little, too late in the closing stanzas of the first round. Carrick, where does that time go when you're having fun with these fights?
When you're having fun with all these fights, Phil, best undercard I can remember in a long, long time.
Both these guys absolutely so evenly matched and so well versed in all aspects of mixed martial arts. There are times where they both go for takedowns and it's almost like they stun each other. It's like looking at a mirror image of one another. It's almost like the energies that they both have repel one another.
There was a huge shot very shortly after this and a big shot before it that brought some blood on the face. Ooh.
And that was more a knee landing to the chin than the shin. But we have seen fighters get rocked with those kinds of shots. And there's a big shot from Tolinov. Second round of our final Octagon prelim fight. The main event of the Octagon prelims, if you will. Both these guys incredibly evenly matched, so well skilled.
Cejudo's showing just a little more confidence than he did in the first round to me, Phil.
Be interesting to see if that transpires in the exchanges. Yeah, he's a little less tentative. He's taking the fight more on the front foot, hasn't he, Carrick? It's a good spot, man.
He sees something, and I think he sees that his left shots have a higher opportunity to get in than do his right ones. There it was.
Just as you say that, yeah, he's trying to get that timing on the left hook. There it was again.
Maybe a knee coming up.
Oh, I like that. Dip the head off to the side. Bring almost the lead leg lazy up behind you. Double underhook here. Big takedown.
Beautiful suplex.
But look at that constant movement from Cejudo. Not happy to settle on the position whatsoever. Bulletbekov riding it out like a bucking bronco to try and get to the dominant position, but much better position now for Tolinov on his back with the full guard.
Cejudo did a great job of getting full guard. I actually thought he was going to get stuck in bottom side.
That was gorgeous. Used the butterfly hook to create a little bit of space, push his opponent away from him, and right now may look to butt scoot and get up, does so.
Beautiful technical stand-up.
That's twice as technical than a technical stand-up. Oh, that left hand, as you so rightly pointed out, Carrick, that does seem to be the best offensive weapon.
And that left knee as well. The attacks on his left side do seem to be landing with efficiency.
Oh, tried to step in with the lead elbow. Oh, but oh! What a shift in momentum!
Reversal of fortunes!
Almost just shrugged him with the shoulder. What a fight! Like I say, the main card guys really need to bring it if they want to equal or better this Octagon prelim card. Tolinov just happy to sit inside the guard right now. Has bicep control on the left side. Bulletbekov doing a good job of landing some shots from the bottom. Has a foot on the hip, may try and spin the hips in search of an armbar. Both feet on the hips now, has an avenue, can go left or right, abandons it.
Maybe looking for a stand-up, Phil. If he can get both those feet on the hips, he can pop his opponent back enough to get up safely.
Momentarily sneaked a hook in here. But oh, beautiful pressure work from Tolinov on top. They try and land the elbow from that position, free him off against the face and just cut it in.
Brave Nation, Cejudo's underhook right now is everything as long as he can keep his right arm under his opponent's right arm. Very, very hard to get off the bottom.
Oh, could be looking for an Americana. Oh, there's a tap!
And it's over!
Americana submission. Was there a tap? There seems to be a little bit of Seems to be a little bit of confusion here, but we'll see in the replay. I'm not quite sure.
That submission was sunk. That submission was technically perfect. The hand was on the back. It may have given the appearance of a tap.
Was the referee calling a technical submission there? Oh. A little bit of afters here in the cage.
A little bit of disagreement.
But you can't blame the fighter in a situation like this. It's not the fighter's fault. You can't accost the fighter. The fighter was doing everything he could do in a situation like that. I think the referee may have potentially called a technical submission in that situation.
In all likelihood, I think that's what happened. This is a sport, Phil, as you know, where you find brotherhood with each other. People on your team are your brothers. You spill blood with them. So when a coach sees something like that, he perceives something happen to his fighter that he disagrees with, it feels like it happened to him.
Now let's have a look here to see if there was a pop in the arm. Let's have a look and see if the referee saw a potential pop in the arm.
The forearm is bending visibly.
Do you think the referee stopped it before it got to the point of breaking?
I think he probably did, but that forearm was visibly bending. It was like you take a pencil and you start to bend it, and it's about to snap in half. It was at that point.
Kind of shades of Frank Mir versus Tim Sylvia, but we'll get the official decision from Carlos Kramer, and then we'll dissect it a little bit further, Kirik.
All right, Brave Nation, what an incredible, explosive bout. This one comes to an end at 3 minutes and 25 seconds of the very first round. Your winner by Americana from Almaty, Kazakhstan, Damir Saulo Khalilov. Here we go, Brave Nation. This battle is 3 5-minute rounds in the Flyweight division. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man is a mixed martial artist with a perfect professional record of 5 wins and no losses. He stands 175 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 58.25 kilograms. Representing Sport Club Abate and fighting out of Kyrgyzstan, give it up for her niece, Abdulakim Hello! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with also a perfect professional record of 3 wins and no losses. He stands 170 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 57 kilograms. Representing Tamerlan FC and fighting out of Almaty, Kazakhstan, please welcome Aktoria Baterbek. Your referee is Rustam Bazhomartov.
Brave Nation, Ernice has gentle doe eyes, makes you want to buy him a sandwich and give him a hug. Do not be fooled. This guy is a killer. What he wants to do right now is break an arm.
Yeah, incredibly dangerous fighter off his back from the top. This guy is a veritable armbar machine. But in Aktori Baterbek, he's taken on a well-established Kazakh favorite. Oh, big shot to knee there. Great use of the whizzer from Irnis. And now, this is exactly where he wants the fight to be, on the ground. This is where he does his best work. And look how tightly he's shelling up. So smart. Needs to be wary of the armbar. Oh, the triangle. Oh, that looks tight, and both these guys are going to be dry, but he doesn't look like he has it quite on the... It's on the ankle as opposed to the shin. It's not as tight as it potentially could be, but at this stage when they're both dry, all bets are off.
Head is controlled. Brave Nation, if the bent ankle is underneath the knee, this fight would already be over.
If he can readjust and clamp that down on the shin, as opposed to the ankle, he doesn't have quite the purchase he wants on it. Oh, there's the tap!
That's it!
Wow!
I think, Phil, we almost had a technical submission there.
Actori Batterbake with the huge triangle right off the bat. Right off the Batterbake, so to speak. But at only 18 years old, yes, he's picked up a loss, but that's going to be an invaluable lesson to Irnis Abdilakin Olo. He's potentially the type of fighter you could see that being the lone loss in his career for a very long time. But right now, it's all about Actori Batterbake, and what a squeeze. I couldn't quite see if he got the readjustment, but what a squeeze he has when it wasn't as tight as it potentially could have been, because it was on the ankle, not the shin.
Absolutely. I believe it was the leg strength that did that for him. The knees driving together. He absolutely did not have the leverage that you ordinarily would need to complete that submission, but he did it anyway. Huge moment for our host nation. They now have 4 wins.
All right, Brave Nation, you talk about explosive. This bout comes to an end at 1 minute and 2 seconds of the very first round. Your winner by triangle choke from Almaty, Kazakhstan, Actori